Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Byron Nelson High School for day one of the Byron Nelson Northwest ISD Invitational for group play, pool play, game number 2. For most of these teams right now, it's going to be Byron Nelson, the Bobcats, going up against Boswell. Both of these teams have played this morning. Boswell losing to Prosper, who you'll see this afternoon against Byron Nelson, lost 25-11, and a close second set, 25-22, will go up against Byron Nelson, the host school for this tournament. And Byron Nelson beat Arlington Lamar this morning by a score of 25-14 and a 25-7 blowout in set number 2. Byron Nelson coming into this opening weekend of volleyball play as the number 1 ranked team in the area, looking to get their second state title in school history. They first accomplished that feat in 2019. They've been back to the regionals 3 of the last 4 years, including last year's trip to the regional quarterfinals, where the Bobcats won 32 games. They are coming off that and have 3 seniors that have already committed to Division I teams, and you'll see them today. Number 5, Sydney Peterson, going to Rice. Then you'll have Ashlyn Say going to Rice as well. She'll be number 12, already committed as a junior. And then number 2, junior Kylie Kleckner, committing to Washington. She'll be in the outside hitter position. And the libero number 10 for Boswell, Elena Lopez, coming into the game as we get set to go here with the first set. And we want to thank Eden, our camera operator, and Peyton, 2 freshmen here at Byron Nelson. We appreciate the assistance. As we get set for point number 1, and Boswell set to serve to get things underway, it's Brooklyn Williams at the back line. Byron Nelson, the Bobcats with a blast by Say, and that's point number 1 to the Bobcats. So the serve goes to Byron Nelson there. Up 1-0. Lopez sets to the back, and this slam goes way long, and it's quickly 2-0 Bobcats. Serving for Byron Nelson is Ashlyn Say. We've already called her name 3 or 4 times here in the first couple of points. Serves it deep, and Lopez just bats it over. And now a difficult slam, hard to play with, is Kylie Kleckner. She puts it away. And a quick 3-love lead for the Bobcats in all blue here, as Boswell has yet to really get into this match. Kleckner, this one gathered in, set by Williams and over, and there's a dink by Sophie Peterson, a sophomore setter, and that's 4-0. Some of the Boswell fans already irritated. Say. Here we'll see if Boswell can get their first point, but Cartwright has it picked up. Good dig in the back line, and here's Boswell with a dink, but it's saved back over, and a point as Carly Curtis, number 1 for Boswell, puts it in, and they are on the board. 4-1 your score and Maribel Longspaw to serve for Boswell, the Indians. Here's a back set, right at the net. Good block at the net by Curtis. There's a Kleckner bomb that's blocked. Middleton for Boswell, and that's going to be impossible to deal with. You stop it once, you stop it twice, but Byron Nelson keeps coming at you in waves, and Ashlyn Say puts it away. Yes, I'm a poet, too. 5-1. Service now. Dylan Sterna, the senior. Good spike on the edge by Camille Middleton for Boswell there with the long ponytail. It's 5-2. And so that brings the service back to Boswell in the form of Elena Lopez. Great camera work. Doing a great job. And impossible to deal with. If the camera work is anything like the volleyball, we're in good hands. 6-2, Byron Nelson. Serving Sophie Peterson, the freshman All-American. Now a sophomore. 721 assists last year, 41 aces. And she starts her season almost an ace. But Boswell wins the point. So we go back and forth. Service. Almost put away by Proctor. Saved by Boswell, and they're just going to hit it over. Here's Peterson to Say. Put it away. Kleckner. You can just see the difficulty that those balls, they just have a velocity at a different level. Like missiles coming at you. 7-3, Nelson. And it's Camille Middleton with the winner, 7-4. Substitution brings in Avery Cartwright back into the mix of things. Here's Middleton. Service deep. Kleckner. Dug out. And now the slam, but well played by Peterson. Bomb by Say. Boswell keeping it alive. Peterson sets to the back. Another bomb by Proctor. Somehow staying alive, and Proctor again puts it away, says good night. Lexi Proctor, the junior, with a slam from the right side. It's 8-4. Boswell just having trouble getting it over here, but a tough ball in the middle of the court. Boswell an opportunity here. It's Cartwright, blocked at the net, and point to Byron Nelson, 9-4. Serving now is Caitlin Francis, the sophomore libero, to her counterpart Elena Lopez, and slammed, and a good one. Somehow saved off the Kaylin Grissom bomb, but won by Kylie Kleckner that's put away deep. 10-4, Bobcats. Timeout, Boswell. And we'll take one with you. We'll be right back in 60 seconds here with Big Daddy Media at the Northwest Volleyball Classic. I apologize. As we come back here to Byron Nelson High School, I was calling them the Indians, and I'm usually perfect on my mascots. It's the Boswell Pioneers, as the Pioneers get the point on a service error out of the timeout by the Pioneers head coach. So now serving is Jillian Smith. For some reason I had to check that out during the timeout. Something just didn't feel right when I said Indians, and in fact, I was wrong. Lexi Proctor with the slam, 11-5, as Byron Nelson refuses to let Boswell get on any type of run. They have not had back-to-back points in this match as of yet. Remember, Byron Nelson started off with the first 4 points of the game, and it's been catch-up for Boswell ever since, as this one hits the net, and it's 2 in a row there for Byron Nelson. No, they don't have 111 points. It's now 12. Sorry about the extra 1 on the scoreboard. It feels like 111. $12-5. We played at 21. These are best of 3 sets in pool play. All to 21. First 2 sets are capped at 30, meaning you have to win by 2 up until the score of 30. And the first team to hit 30, even if it's by 1, will win the set. And then set number 3, service error by Husnet, the senior. Even if you, in the third set, it's uncapped. You can play as long as you go until somebody wins by 2. Dug out here. And then perfect placement. Sophie Peterson, as the Byron Nelson bench is doing some sort of, looks like ritual dance. Sometimes it's not always how hard you hit it. It's where the ball's placed. And Sophie Peterson hit it very softly, but it counts just the same as one of those missiles that comes here from Kylie Kleckner that is blocked perfectly at the net by Boswell. Keaton Campbell, right place, right time, says no thank you, and brings the service back to white and yellow. Dug out by Caitlin Frances, and there's the first 2-point streak for Boswell. And Maribel Longspaws, they have finally served around. Serves twice in a row. Down by 6, 14-8. Sophie Peterson setting up Kylie Kleckner, and it's out. 3 in a row, within 5. $14-9. Boswell going on a bit of a run here. This one, though, an unforced error ends that streak, and it's 15-9. So 10 points away from a first set win. Coming into the game to serve is Dylan Sterna, the senior defensive setter. Elena Lopez setting up Campbell. And now Kleckner bombs away for Byron Nelson, and that's a Bobcat bomb, 16-9. Saved by Williams, and Boswell saves it out of bounds now, tying for the biggest Byron Nelson lead of the match, 17-9 at 8. Sterna back to serve. Lopez saves it, sets. Camille Middleton gets the point for Boswell with a slam. Elena Lopez in the dark blue. Serves right to the middle of the court. Peterson sets. Good block. Setting up Middleton. Camille touched at the net. Point. Be in. And back into the game comes Lexi Proctor, replacing Emily Housnet, 18-10. Boswell wants to have a chance in this set. They're going to have to make their run pretty soon. So Sophie Peterson back to serve. She's got a little mustard on it. Middleton, but saved somehow by Caitlin Francis. Kleckner, not her best spike. Middleton, she sends over a good one, saved. Kleckner just gets it over, and here Boswell's got a shot. Middleton dinks. Francis, Kleckner, and that's a winner, 19-10. That was a point that Boswell could have and should have had. They let Byron Nelson stay in it just a little bit too long, and it's 19-10, biggest lead for the Bobcats, 6 points away from set number 1. Rafael Lopez, the Boswell head coach, having a word with his Pioneers. Last year, Boswell was 25-20, 13-1 in their district. Service error for Byron Nelson makes it 19-11. Kleckner gets it sent back in her face. And the Pioneers, 2 straight points, get it within 7, 19-12. Do they have a run in them here in set number 1? Looking for their first win today. Camille Middleton, and Kleckner's not going to be denied twice. She makes that one look easy. It's 20-12. This one into the net, so that's 2 straight service errors for Byron Nelson, 3 in the match. So 3 of the Boswell 13 points have come thanks to Byron Nelson. Here's Camille Middleton. Service blocked at the net. barely saved. A good dive. Now Byron Nelson with the save. And over is Say. Here's a spike. Nelson saves, and here's Ashlyn Say. Boswell hits the net. It's going to be a point for Byron Nelson, who is 4 away from victory. And that's a good slam, but somehow dug out from nowhere is Kleckner. And here Byron Nelson has a chance to put it down. Good block. Another over, this time by Reagan Roberts at the middle. She hasn't had much action before this point. And here's Say. Good save, diving by Boswell. Another good slam by Grissom. Say again. Dug out. This one over, and it's going to give Byron Nelson a great opportunity, and Say puts it away, 22-13. Byron Nelson keeps coming and coming. They just don't go away. The lead is 9, 3 points away, as Boswell fought fiercely on that point. They just don't have the cannons to put these points away. They do get one there, though, at the net. Not the cleanest of blocks by Byron Nelson. We have a substitution as service is retained here by the Pioneers. Jillian Smith. And just a wide open court for Lexi Proctor. The defense looked tired there. And it's 23-14. Dink. Somehow saved. Batted over by Francis. At the net. Good block by the Bobcats. Slam. Somehow saved. Dinked. Williams. Slammed and put away in the corner. Good night, says Sophie Peterson. Heck of a point. Sophie Peterson showing why she is a freshman All-American sophomore, and that says it all from this set number 1. 24-14. Set point. Hits the net. And set number 1 goes to the Bobcats of Byron Nelson, 25-14. As Boswell fought fiercely. But that exclamation point by Sophie Peterson was all she wrote. And Boswell needs to win sets 2 and 3, or they are going to drop their first 2 games in pool play. Meanwhile, Byron Nelson, 1 set away from setting up a 3 p.m. duel in the gym here for top spot in the group between them and Prosper, as they both are looking to go into that match at 2-0, both hopefully having beaten Boswell and Arlington Lamar. Sort of the group of the haves and the have-nots. Again, a thank you to our Byron Nelson assistants, Eden and Jillian. Peyton, I was close. Very close. Peyton and Eden from the freshman volleyball teams for helping us out today with the camera work. And we take this mid-set break. Get the scoreboard reset. Byron Nelson back on the court. And here come the Pioneers of Boswell as we get ready for set number 2. Byron Nelson needs this set to clear it off. And Emily Housnet, the senior, 480 digs last year, is going to come in to start things off with the first service of the set. Blocked at the net, and they say no touch at the net, and it's going to be a point for the Bobcats. Byron Nelson up 1-0 early on. This is how they started the game last set, getting out 3-0. Set by Brooklyn Williams. Good save. Dug out by Caitlin Francis. Good spike. Saved by Kleckner, who sends a missile. That's in play, even though it hits the stanchion of the basketball net. Dinked in by Peterson, who just has an amazing sense of time and place on the volleyball court. Knows when to spike, knows when to dink. And it's 2-0 Byron. Misplaced and free ball it over. And another doink over. Sophie Peterson is on her A game here to start set number 2. Timeout, Boswell. Coach Rafael Lopez has seen enough to start, and you almost feel like that second to last spike by Peterson to end set number 1 took something out of Boswell mentally. And since then, Boswell has just not looked the same. They have been out of sorts defensively, and you want to say Sophie Peterson may have gotten in their heads. But you're starting to see a separation in these two volleyball teams, and understanding why Byron Nelson is picked to be one of the top teams in the state of Texas coming into the volleyball season. A lot of volleyball left to be played, though. 3-0 Byron Nelson out of the timeout. Blocked at the net. Williams, spike. Great digging. And there's a point for Boswell. So back to serve is going to be Maribel Longspa, number 22 for Boswell. Dig and a doink by number 12, Ashlyn Say, the Rice commit. She had 488 kills, which led the Bobcats last year. And she's putting a dent in that scorebook this year already here in day number 1. To go along with 270 digs, 46 blocks, and an all-state nomination. Ashlyn Say, number 12, the outside hitter. A name to watch this season. That's going to be a service ace by the aforementioned Ashlyn Say. C or Say? How do you pronounce it? Ashlyn C? Say? Okay. Y'all don't go to school with her or anything. It's okay. Say, we're going to go with Say. I was just kidding. But we're going to go with Say. Sophie Peterson, 5-1, Bobcats. Williams. Peterson sets up Kleckner. The block at the net goes into the net, and it's quickly a 5-point Byron Nelson advantage, 6-1. Boswell just doesn't have one player that can take over the set. And illegal touching, whereas Byron Nelson, if you took them and put them on other teams, have 3 or 4 of these players could be the star of any team in the area. Here's Say, and that service is long. Really, the only way Boswell is scoring right now is when Byron Nelson gifts a point, which they do there on the service error. 7-2. Here is Elena Lopez. Service. Say. Feeding Kleckner. Spike. And that'll get the bench rising in approval. 8-2. Get the service right back on track. Dylan Sterna sends it high. Lopez setting up Williams. The block right back in her face by Peterson. Diving to the ground. Hitting each other. And what do you know? Zion Coates, the senior, puts it where they aren't. 9-2. Byron Nelson. Another soft landing. And there, that dig goes the wrong way. That's an easy ace. There haven't been many. Quickly out to a 10-2 lead. This set and match getting away from the Boswell Pioneers. This one into the net, the block. Boswell with another chance. The defense right there, though. Ashlyn Say, Lopez, Williams, and that's going to be a good one over. Byron Nelson almost saves it. 10-3. And what I notice is that defensively, Byron Nelson is so much better positioned than Boswell that when the Bobcats dink, there's nobody at the second level backing up the players at the net. Meanwhile, when Boswell tries that, and it's over the head of the middle blockers, the back line is right there to back up those players and get to that ball. So there's no dink opportunities in the middle of the court. That space is accounted for. Peterson sets up Kleckner, and that's a good spike. The block goes out of bounds. It's 11-4 now. Timeout. No, just a substitution. And now it's going to be Sophie Peterson to serve. Middleton puts everything into it, but saved. Say. This one dug out. Middleton. Say gets it. Peterson, and this one by Kleckner. She can't get her legs underneath it and spikes it into the net, 11-5. That's where you wonder if fitness in the middle of the season, she might be able to get that one up and over. Oh, she spikes it right into the face of Brooklyn Williams, and she takes one into the nose. Good point at the net. Won by Kleckner, 12-5. Byron Nelson doing it every which way possible. And Kleckner now will take it back to serve. Lopez the dig, and there's nobody there to recover. Right in between two of her own players. It's 13-5. Bobcats halfway home in set number 2. Kleckner over. Caitlin Grissom. Zion Coates has it picked up by Boswell. Say. Good dig. Middleton blocked. Say gets an arm on it. Over by Peterson. Gives Boswell an opportunity. And nobody there. And it just lands harmlessly in their own court. That's the kind of volleyball you will see in my daughter's 8th grade games sometimes, but they can usually get it over. 14-5, and there's a timeout on the court. We'll be back in less than a minute here on Big Daddy Media. You're watching the NISD Classic. Brian Scott, Eden, Peyton with you here on a Thursday afternoon. We'll be right back. Back here at Byron Nelson High School. We thank you for joining us on day 1 of this annual volleyball tradition that signals the start of the season here in the DFW area that will last up until around Thanksgiving, when we will crown a state champion in the 6A ranks. Kylie Kleckner with the point. And the Bobcats, as this is day 1 of their season, are hoping that they are one of the last teams standing. And if today is any way of looking at that and evaluating, they certainly seem to have the goods to make a legitimate run at that second state title in school history. Their first one being in 2019. Coming off a 32-win season. And there's a service error. Point goes to the Pioneers at 16-6. Abby Monk calling her name for the first time as she comes into the game to get a serve. Dug out. Peterson setting up Coates. And somebody touches the net. And it's going to be a point to Byron Nelson. Good spike from the middle of the court by Zion Coates. As we said, they just have waves of players. And there's the second wave of defense coming behind the dink. Good block. Peterson. This one's saved. Good dig. Kleckner, no, save. Peterson sets up her friend Lexi Proctor, putting it away 18 to 6. Caitlin Francis. Middleton in the back. Grissom. Say. Can Boswell save the point? Say saves it. And here's a dink that just lands perfectly. And the Bobcats are dominating set number 2. It's 19 to 6. And I think that they may have destroyed the will of the Boswell Pioneers. There's Kaylin Grissom. And that's a good spike by Grissom that Francis has trouble handling. It's going to be a point to the Pioneers. They try to get close to that double digits here. Served by Brooklyn Williams, who tries to dig it out, but she can't get there in time. 20 to 7, 5 points away from setting up a matchup of two 2-0 teams. An hour from now, Prosper and Byron Nelson to win the pool, or pool number 4. Kleckner back, and it's Peterson. Defense right there. And Kleckner gets it slammed back. Point to Boswell. That was a good point for the Pioneers. 20 to 8. Oh, and that one was beautiful. That was a bomb by Ashlyn Say, who will get the point and just walk briskly back to serve, needing 4 points for the Byron Nelson victory. Ashlyn Say, Brooklyn Williams, Middleton, blocked back in her face by Sophie Peterson, 3 points away, 22 to 8. The first set was 25 to 14. There's now a 14-point lead in set number 2. Ashlyn Say, service. Williams, back set. Blocked at the net and put away by Kleckner and Katie Server. 2 points away. 44 minutes into the match. Bobcats making quick work of things. Middleton saved by Byron Nelson. Say to the rescue. Peterson over. Williams, Middleton. Out. I think that's a bad call. But Byron Nelson's point anyway, and it is match point. 24 to 8. Boswell needs 16 straight and another set. Or this one's to Byron Nelson. And is it an ace? No, Brooklyn Williams saves it. Illegal touch. Point to the Bobcats. And exactly 44 minutes and 50 seconds after we start, Byron Nelson wins this one 25-14, 25 to 8 in 2 straight sets, and will move on to their final game of group play with a 2-set-to-love victory over the Boswell Pioneers. So Byron Nelson has played 4 sets. They've won them all by the score cumulatively of 100 to 55. Not bad for an afternoon of work, although I do have a feeling that this next match is going to be their toughest of the day. So we will be back at 3 p.m. after we watch Boswell play Arlington Lamar to see who will get third and fourth place in the pool. And we will watch Byron Nelson and Prosper. Until then, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Boswell taking on Byron Nelson. Once again, your final. Byron Nelson wins this one 2-0 by the final score of 25-14, 25-8. Our thanks to our camera crew from Byron Nelson High School, Peyton and Eden. Much thanks. And I'm Brian Scott for Big Daddy Media. Our thanks to Chuck Licata, the Reverend Randy Fry, and the rest of the crew. We will see you later this afternoon, and we thank you for joining us. Have a great afternoon, and goodbye.